Sophie Ashaba Tumwesije is at Trinity College Kabale for A-level, and we would like to continue hearing the story at Trinity. Sophie, we are now A-level students. The situation at home hasn't changed much, but you have a task to accomplish your A-level studies and get a UACE, Uganda Advanced Certificate of Education.
Yes.
Woo, what is A-level like?
Wow, so A-level was quite challenging. Like I told you, I called and I asked for my own admission.
Maturity has entered in.
Yes. And the reason for calling, my mother was hopeless. She did not know where I was going to go. First of all, even O-level. At times, we were not paying school fees and finishing it in time. So I think she was wondering, am I going to take her back? So I called the school director and I told him that I don't have school fees, but I want to come back to study.
To do A-level.
And I found grace before him. I found grace before the Lord. And he accepted me. I went back to A-level. I did my combination held history, economics, literature, and divinity. And by the grace of God, I was also elected the school head girl. So the Lord took me there with a lot of favor. But there is an interesting journey that I began in A-level. I went to A-level with, my mother gave me transport and exact transport to get me to Kabale, and they want to put me on a bicycle border to go back to school. And she also gave me around, if I remember very well, around 17,500 to do shopping. Entire shopping. Now that entire shopping came with the tiniest bits of what I wanted.
Smallest toothpaste, I know
smallest toothpaste, the smallest shoe polish.
Ask me.
Everything
I
was
know where
in
they are
that.
sold.
Exactly. Everything was in the tiniest bits. And the shopping was done. I went to school without any money, not even any coin for myself. But to me, I had a dream come true. I wanted to report back to school.
For A-level.
For A-level. How I was going to survive, I don't know. But I knew that I had the books. I had some books that I had which I had not used for
O-level.
Yeah, which I carried forward. I had a few books that I also had kept. So somehow I just wanted to go back and begin school. And I remember when I went back to A-level, I was in senior 5. I remember after prep, the night preps, I think that's where I got my turning point. Because I went to one of the classes at around midnight in the night. And I sat on the desk and I cried to God. And I remember making a covenant with him and telling him that if you actually there,
I told
Jesus.
you there's something in your name, Ashaba.
I was like, God, if you are actually there, I want you to hold my hand and walk with me this journey of life. I still remember that. Alone. No one preached to me.
I told you prophetic prayers, travailing prayers, Ashaba, the one who prays.
No one preached to me.
I knew it had some seed it had planted in your life.
So
wow, that amazing night.
I gave my life to Christ. And ever since that day, I got a wave of peace. I did not have what to eat, especially the grab. You can imagine senior 5. If you have been to senior 5, you know. It's like you're reporting to school for senior 1. You have a lot of grab, you have a lot of things.
New things.
I did not have any. But I had what I wanted, and that was reporting back to school. I did not know that the prayer I made then in the night would actually push me through life. I found favor before the administration. I found favor before the school. The people that were in my life were willing to help me. They were willing to give me what I really didn't have. Somehow, I went through school and I finished actually in senior 5. I told myself that I needed to read so hard. Now that I have been given an opportunity to go to school, let me also work so hard and get a scholarship, an academic scholarship. So I happened to get the first semester I got an academic scholarship. Then the second semester I did. Of course, later I think maybe when I went into leadership, somehow I declined. But finally, I finished senior 6. And yes, somehow I was a little bit disappointed I did not get government scholarship, though I was looking forward to it. I finished senior 6. But remember the favor that I had when I went back. I got an opportunity to begin teaching in a certain village school there. So I started teaching and I started saving some little money.
In Kabale, in Diantondi?
In Kabale.
So you now get a job in Kabale after S6?
After S6. And I started teaching in a secondary school, saving some money. I had a dream that one time I will go to Makerere. And I remember telling my friends, I do not know how, when, but I want to go and attain that degree. So that was my plan. I told my mother that this is it. Save some money and I give it to her. So finally, they advertised for courses. First I had applied to do Bachelor of Laws. Then when my mother saw the tuition, she was like, you cannot even think of doing law. Remember where we came from. Huh? We are children of... Yeah, I had a dream of being a lawyer. I was like, we are children of, you know where we came from. How do you even think of doing law? Eh? Hey, you go and do education, you go and do these other courses we can manage. So I sat and I realigned myself. I applied and I got a course. I was given Bachelor of Arts in Environmental Management. Yeah, and I told God, this is the course that you have chosen for me to do, and I will do it. My reporting to Makerere, I went there with this in my mind that you can either make it a graveyard or a vineyard, because you used to have campusers who would come to school to preach to us. So I was so excited. Stepping in Makerere University, I remember walking on foot with my friends all the way from Lumumba to the main library, because it was a dream come true. How do you even come to Makerere University?
I like that, Sophie.
Yeah, so we would walk. We walked from Lumumba to the main library on foot. We even got somewhere and we even sat. And
in the compound,
in the compound, yes. And then it was such an exciting moment. And I told God, I know I'm still working with you. So remember, during that time, my mother was saving some little money and I was also saving. So we managed to pay school fees for the first semester. In I tried getting scholarships from Rite district because of our history. So there were those, the HIV epidemic. Yeah, there were those scholarships. So we managed to get one, but it took me for just, they were paying half of it, around 200,000, and then we would look for the top up. So in first semester, it went on well. Second semester, my father got to know that I was at university. And,
okay.
And somehow he was not amused, let me say. It's like, how do you take a child to university? That is so big for us. How do you even manage it? Eh? But my mother has always been a woman of incredible faith. She is and has always been a woman who loved school. She wanted to see us all go through school, no matter what. So, but later, my father Sam was like, okay, I will try to contribute. Now, the year that he was supposed to fulfill the pledge, that's when he got a very fatal accident that left him paralyzed, that left him amputated for close to 13 years until when he passed on 2 years ago.
The name Ashaba, I picked it at the beginning. I felt like there was something in this name.
Yeah.
A mother, a single mother, confused after senior 4. The child picks up her phone and calls the director of Kabale. What's his name?
Mr. Joab Tumwebalize.
Mr. Joab Tumwebalize, the director for Kabale Trinity College. Thank you so much for giving Sophie Ashaba an opportunity to do her A-level there. She gets to the university with partial bursary from Rite district. We also want to appreciate Rite district and any administrators who were there at that time to ensure that this girl stayed in school. However, it's amazing. When the father hears about it, he says, it's too big for my child to be at university. And Sophie has just rebuked me as a parent. Parents, are we the ones who are blocking our children's progress? And I'm learning it from Sophie that tell your child the sky is not even the limit. I picked that from you, Sophie. I will not tell my children, you? How? That's too high for you. The sky is not even the limit. So Sophie is at university and she's very grateful to be there. And I want to tell young people something she's mentioned. She said that they experienced university students who used to come and speak to them. And they told them that the university would either be a graveyard or a vineyard. Students, I want to tell you, even today, Makerere, MOBS, UCU, all of them are either a graveyard or a vineyard. We are yet to hear Sophie. Sophie, so which did you choose? But what prompted you in your choices at the university? That one I want to hear.
What prompted me in?
Yes, what helped you? Which way did you go? Did you make Makerere a graveyard?
Or a vineyard.
Or a vineyard? What was that thing, Sophie, that you held on?
I held on to Christ. I told you that when I was in senior 5, that's when I gave my life to Christ.
Yes.
And I walked with him. In my vacation, I had Christ. I purposed to get a focus or to be focused. When I came to Makerere, I told myself that the best thing you can do, because with the help of the talks that happen, is to get a group where you can identify with others. And to me, immediately, actually, the director, the director that I have told you about, Mr. Joab, I remember him telling me, when you go to Makerere, go to St. Francis Chapel, you will find Uncle Ben. So when I came, I was looking forward to St. Francis Chapel and to find Uncle Ben. I joined St. Francis Chapel as an usher. I joined ministry. I joined Akaim, that's Kigezi Ankole Anglican Youth Missioners, as a missioner. And those were groups that I was identifying with. Would go for missions and preach the gospel. If I'm not in mission, then I'm at St. Francis Chapel, ushering. If I'm not there, then I'm in Christian Union, Fridays and Sundays. So
I can't forget that one.
Yeah, so I tried to make sure that it may see you. I tried to make sure that let me utilize this time. And because of my background, I also feared to fail my mother and those that were looking up to me. I had younger siblings that were looking up to me. So I feared to fail them. I went through school, of course, through a lot of struggles, just like I have told you. My mom would try to get a little loans here. Then I tried as much as I can to look for scholarships. I tried as much as I can to look for scholarships. And I couldn't get any of them. But finally, I had an opportunity. I thought I would get an opportunity. But the person who had promised to give me an opportunity for a scholarship when I went there, now he couldn't also help. It was like a scam. So I told myself, you know what? You already don't have money, so you just go back. And I lived my life in faith.
Sophie, I'm sorry. I would like to hear a bit of the scam. Names can be kept out, and organizations can be kept out. Yes. How can a young person know that this is a scam, this is genuine?
So I went to see a gentleman who had promised me a scholarship in office. So when I got there, he told me what I had to do, papers that I had to fill in. So I went back to the hostel, but when I was going back, he gave me like a tip of 100K. It was too much.
100,000.
Of those years, we are used to get tips of 10K. If you are so lucky, 10,000. It's like, oh my God, this man is so generous. So when I went back to my hostel, later in the night, I see a message, and it was a bit unpleasant. I was like, okay, there are red lights here.
So red light.
Yeah, I was like, there are red lights here. The message was not good. So in the morning I woke up and I told him, you know what? I think I saw the message, but if that is the reason that you had given me this money, I had a friend of mine, two of my roommates I was staying with, I had the late Barbara and another one called Jackie. So you're like, you know what, you call him, we will escort you and you take back the money. So somehow,
boldness.
Yeah. So somehow these friends of mine were also pushing me. But of course I was like, no, I didn't mean that, what. So later I chilled and I used the money to pay my hostel fee. Who would miss 100,000? But I closed the chapter. I was like, I'm not going back.
You didn't go back.
Yeah, I was like, I am not going back. This is it. And
Sophie's story is amazing. She's told, look for Uncle Ben on Mugarura. Uncle Ben, I hope one day you'll see this. You're really a youth minister. Sophie comes to Makerere, finds Uncle Ben. Sophie chooses the groups wisely. Kaim. Amazing. She becomes an usher. She joins ministry at a young age. And not only that, she has the fear to fail her mother. Young people, who do you want to fail? Or who do you want to protect from failure? Usually you have a mother, a sister, an aunt, a friend, a relative, your mom's friend. Maybe your mom passed on, but your mom's friend who makes it an opportunity to come and see you. Let's learn from Sophie. Sophie has said she feared to hurt her mom. And red lights, young people, red lights are all over the place. I am 47 years. There are red lights all over. My God, if a 47-year-old married woman who always has her ring on experiences red lights, Sophie's friends told her, he wants his money, let's escort you back. My God, those were friends. I am picking it that friends are important. Sophie, I would like you to look into this camera and just tell young people, how do we choose friends? Because I'm sure they were not the only people around you.
no, they were not.
How should we choose friends?
Wow. I think what I can tell a young man, a young girl outside there is choosing friendship comes with a lot of things. And one of them is to have contentment. If you're not contented, then you're going to get into groups of the wrong people. But if you have contentment in you, and that contentment is brought by knowing who you are and knowing who you are in the Lord. I knew who I was in the Lord, and I told myself that I am not going to allow to be compromised because I had a target and I knew who I had believed. So look at the circles around you, and one, do not allow to be compromised or be in a state of being compromised, to be pushed into the wrong groups. Have that word that you can stand on and tell the people around you that want to pull you to the wrong circles that no, this is wrong. Today they will not be happy with you, but the following day they will know that what you have chosen is the right thing. That's what I can say.
Peer pressure. She's given us a key to peer pressure. They will be angry with you today, but they will realize tomorrow, after sleeping over it overnight, they will realize that this girl actually has sense. Sophie Tumwesije Ashaba, we will continue with her in another episode. Youth and Prominence Program, Rite TV, R-I-T-E. Some people have been putting in W, no, R-I-T-E, Youth and Prominence Program. Sarah Biamkama, your host. Thank you very much.